Good afternoon, everybody. Depending on where you're listening from. Good morning, good afternoon,
Or
good
when you're
evening.
listening.
What did I say?
Or said, or when you're listening.
Oh,
You said
yeah.
where you're listening?
Oh, I meant when, not where. All right. Well, to get us off started.
Get
Wow.
us off started.
I don't know, you guys. It's just been a day. I'm also very congested right now because we've been working on our house all day and just there's so many particles in the air. So
And who would have guessed it? We're recording, so Lola needs to be right by
Yep.
us, demanding our attention.
we appreciated that comment on YouTube. Thank you for liking hearing the cat make an appearance because it's kind of inevitable. All right, so this week we're going to be talking about haunted areas in and near Seattle, Washington. So I will start us off. I have 3 stories. We can alternate between those. And my first one is from Reddit, or on Reddit, by Happy CJ. And this is what he has to say. Yep, I was a ghost tour guide with the original Market Ghost Tours. My boss literally wrote the book on ghost stories in Pike Place Market since she grew up there and her dad was the nominal mayor. What's a nominal mayor?
I don't know.
It's not phenomenal, it's just nominal.
Nominal? They were nominated, maybe? No, I don't know. Nominated
Oh,
when they voted? I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway, which is kind of funny because that's what this person said. Anyway, one of my stories from that time. I was leading a tour group of about 10 people on an early evening tour. Maybe the first or second one, 5 or 6 p.m. Kel's Irish Bar restaurant was always a stop on the tour since it was originally the production floor for the mortuary that was upstairs. Entrance on First Avenue. And Kel's is well known for having weird shit happen regularly. Talk to anyone working there and they will have a story, or 10, to tell. It's summer, so it is still bright daylight outside. I lead the group into the dark bar and we pause inside the door to let our eyes adjust. There are maybe 6 or 7 people in the whole place, mostly sitting at the bar. In the very back of the bar, I see a small girl playing. She's kind of dancing in the space between the tables, but she's moving a little weirdly. I normally let my group stand right where that little girl is when I tell my 2 key stories about Kels, so I'm hoping she will move or leave before we get there. As we move closer to her, she sees us and rushes back to her table with her family and clears the space so my group can circle up around me and hear my stories. One of the stories I tell is of a little ghost girl that is seen playing right where everyone is standing. As I'm finishing up my story, the mother, carrying her daughter, excitedly interrupts my story and tells me that her daughter has just seen that little girl. Tell the nice man, honey. Turns out what we saw as we came into the bar was the little girl, and he says the real girl, playing Ring Around the Rosie with the ghost girl. She told us what the ghost girl was wearing and gave us a bunch of details about the type of doll the little ghost girl had. There was even a repair on the doll that the ghost girl was planning to make and showed to the real girl. The reason the little girl seemed to be playing oddly to our eyes when we walked in was because we couldn't see the other girl she was playing with.
That's kind of cool.
That is really... I like how the mom's excited. I would be like, why is my child seeing ghosts?
Yeah, I'm like, if you see this ghost, what other ghosts are you bringing back to our house with you?
If you looked behind you, Toby, he's looking in as soon as I made eye contact. We're going to leave him out there. Hopefully he doesn't make a ruckus. All right. What you got for us?
All right. Mine is just a bunch of different little stories and little history about is it a pub that Kel's?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what they label as. The one thing said restaurant. I don't know if it's a restaurant and a pub.
It says Kel's Irish Bar Restaurant. So both.
Well, mine is all about that, and they're calling it the most haunted bar in the United States. But people will call they'll call their establishment the most haunted whatever to get people
true.
there.
Yep.
So, but they're calling it this, and a lot of this is from, her name is Phoenix Smith, and she is talking, it's from her Nightly Spirits Ghost Tours, and she's talking to people.
Well, when we go to Seattle, we should definitely try one of these ghost tours.
So, Smith says, statistically, Kelts is the most haunted bar in all of America. She says, but from personal experience, it is the bar that made her a believer. So I don't know.
She's saying she didn't believe the statistics.
Oh,
but because she's been there enough times.
I read that a couple times. It still didn't make sense to me.
There you go. You just had to read it out loud to me.
So this is from Como News. I don't know if it's just KOMO News, but they are. That's where this is taken from. They go, why is Kells haunted and how, and what does it all mean?
Ooh.
So they go back in time and talk about the history for a while. It goes, the backside of Kells along First Avenue is actually the front side of what is known as the Butterworth Building. A man named E.R. Butterworth hired an English architect to design it, and it was finished in 1903. It was Seattle's first mortuary, and it says for decades, almost everybody who died in Seattle passed through the walls and halls of Butterworth and Sons.
Well, no wonder why it's haunted.
I wonder if they made butter from the body. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
I know that's not how you make butter.
That was morbid.
I was picturing like soap. You know how you make it from fats. Okay.
No, I thought it was oils.
Well, there's oil and fat.
Yeah. Oh, true. Touche.
No. Oh, I just pictured a soap business also.
Thinking
like
large
being
business.
Like, no, picture like a soap business also being like a morgue or something. Yeah. Okay. Off my morbidity, back to the story. There was an office, and then they had like where all the bodies were taken care of. They had funerals and stuff that would leave from there, and it makes sense if you have all these dead people in there all the time. It would be haunted. All right, so a lot of this information is from Patrick McLeese, who owns Kells today, and he was saying of like all these things have gone on, and he said maybe rolling your eyes and thinking I don't believe in ghosts. He said he isn't sure either. Yet there's a video in the early 90s of him detailing strange things that are going on. He said, out of the blue, and the door just opened, and I remember the guys, my brother Jared at the time, and another fellow that worked with us, refused to ever go back there. And then he says, I spent a lot of time upstairs alone, and a lot of unexplained things have happened. People ask me all the time, do I see things? No, but I've had these experiences. One ghost has been seen so many times that he's been given a name, Charlie. Inside Kells, just around the corner from the bar, hanging on a wood-paneled wall is a mirror. This is the spot, Patrick said, pointing. Mirrors may change, but this is the spot it happens. What happens is that most people see the reflection of a happy-looking middle-aged man in the mirror. He's wearing a derby hat, and he's usually seen at the top right corner of the mirror, smiling. It's kind of creepy.
That is creepy.
When people turn around, nobody's there. It says at least dozens of people have said they've seen him over the years. Smith, who was doing the tour, she said she believes in the ghost of Charlie. Says, I had a gentleman taking pictures of his wife in the mirror straight on, she said, and she's facing him. And when he looked back at the picture, there was a face, profile, right behind her head. And that's the first time I said, something's not right here. McLeese is careful not to speculate about the existence of ghosts or spirits in his bar, but he will show you a photo that was taken in the area of Charlie's mirror during some remodeling a few years back. This I'm going to show you. I'm going to add this to our social media. To the right of the door is a shadowy image that looks like, well, a ghost. That's how they read it. It says, right over a horror movie. A skeletal mask of a face, maybe. See in the door opening?
What are we looking at? So is that a mirror?
No, that's where the mirror is now.
Ugh.
But when they're doing remodeling, that's like in the doorway.
That's creepy.
It's really creepy, and I don't like it.
No.
Like it just, maybe it's a happy face. I mean, it looks like it's smiling, but it's really creepy. Yeah, it's creepy. Another story says, one night 40 years ago, Patrick and his dad were cleaning up after the bar and restaurant had closed. They were on the restaurant side, which joins to the bar side by a short hallway. It says, it was late and they heard a loud crash. Glass smashes. We hear it, and of course we race there, he remembers, standing in the spot where it happened. We were well closed, the only two left in the bar, and there was an old mirror here, and it was of course on the ground. He points to a shallow shelf, maybe 4 inches deep, that runs along the wall, and a candle was lit right here, and we immediately think, what's going on here? And we got our flashlights out. He said the door to the bar was bolted from the inside, and there was no other way for anyone to have got in or out. He said they searched for 20 minutes and found nothing. So they said, to this day, chalk that up to another crazy story at Kells. And they never found him. And then they go on other stories, including they talk about a little girl in a red dress. I don't know if that's the girl you're talking about.
Girl she's playing with.
Yeah, they said she usually is sweet and playful. and she can be shy.
Oh, okay.
So those are my stories about Kelsborough. There's others. There's other stories people see, but these are the two main ones. The guy in the mirror and the little girl.
That's cool.
And there's some other ones, but I think we'll just have to go visit to find out.
Yeah. We definitely put that on our list of places to go is the pub. All right. So my next story is, it's a online at seattlemet.com. Mercedes Yeager wrote, "Meet the ghosts that haunt the market." So, Mercedes Yeager, she's the owner of the Market Ghost Tours, introduces Pike Place's most distinguished ghouls. So I'm just going to go over, it was 4 or 5 ghosts that they see and what you could expect from them. So the first one is Princess Angeline. Born in 1811, Chief Seath's oldest daughter defiantly lived in a shack just below Pike Street during a time when no other Native Americans were allowed to reside within city limits. How she haunts. The most common place to find her ghost is on the stairs up from Western Ave, close to where her home was. People catch her in the corner of their eye, go looking for her, and end up on the steps. She smells unpleasant, pungent, and moves slowly and deliberately. So,
I was like when there's smells associated.
yeah, I feel like that makes it more, it can make it more believable unless you can look around you and be like, oh, that was causing that smell.
Like, I always wonder how could a ghost or anything, like, because you know how they'll say, like, demons, a lot of times they'll have, like, they'll make things, like, you have, like, a rotting smell.
Yeah.
But I just wonder why and how. Like,
Yeah.
how you have the capability.
How it's possible and why that's what you would be giving off it doesn't seem pleasant ever.
Yeah.
All right, my next ghost is Frank Goodwin, one of the original founders of the market. Goodwin, who died in 1954, kept an office in a space next to the basement and frequent dance floor of what is now the Alibi Room. How he haunts, he's seen as an old man at the bottom of the Alibi stairs, where he introduces himself as Frank and asks if visitors need help with directions, just as he would have in life. So that's cute.
I like that he has a friendly
He's
guy.
just helpful.
Do you have, like, do you know, like, how he died or anything? Was it?
No, I didn't. These are just like short little blurbs of ghosts you could go see and what they do. So, well, I bet you this one died of a Spanish flu. So Jacob, the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic killed over 1,000 Seattleites. That's okay. I think that's right. The spirit of one victim, an 8 to 9-year-old stable boy named Jacob, is believed to reside in the Mary Tales toy store. Oh gosh. Of course, a toy store has a haunting. How he haunts. He was really active in 2007. I could walk in with a day tour and provoke him, and he'd start throwing things. He's very mischievous and poltergeisty. But he calmed down after the store owner made a little room for him with a bed. Oh my gosh, that's creepy.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, gross. All right. The last one is the Suspender Man. The structure at 1921 First Avenue, current home of Kel's Irish Pub and former owner of the Butterworth and Sons Mortuary, is reportedly atop a Duwamish tribe burial ground.
Oh.
Jeez, just to add to everything else. Witnesses have observed ghosts, sometimes dozens at a time, in the building, including an unnamed man seen in a second-story window. How he haunts. He wears suspenders and a newsboy hat. I can show you a very clear, convincing photo where he's looking down and you can see a shadow of the hat on his face. We think he's one of the former mortuary employees. So they didn't share the picture in this article. Or if they did, I will make sure to share it. I have to go back to it. But those are just a couple of places you guys can visit while in Seattle to possibly see a ghost. What you got for me?
That's what I got for you.
Oh, you read it all in one blurb. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. All right. I didn't give you
enough to make it sound
your
interesting.
story was long, so that was good.
It felt long listening to it.
Oh my god, stop putting words in my mouth. I mean, I did say that, but it was the context. Okay, I have one more, and it's very short. It's the Alibi Room, which I had a little blurb about it above, but we're going back there, and it says Post Alley after it, and the person said, "The pizza here is great. Just be wary of the little girl my friend swore she saw in the back booth corners of the bar, or a cold whoosh of air that perpetually lingers on your lap. That little girl likes to sit on laps, apparently. That is creepy to put it that way to me. I don't know why."
Because you can't have things be sweet and innocent.
Well, it's just weird if a strange little girl comes and sits on my lap.
Well, yeah.
So there. The most famous ghost in Alibi is Frank. Oh, okay, so he's the one I did talk to above, so sorry. There's
You talked to him?
that it talked about. It says, because there's more to it. So he was the kind ghost, right? He was the one good. So it says, the most famous ghost in Alibi is Frank, though an elderly man who stands outside of the bathrooms introduces himself. Post Alley, the street that Alibi sits on, is made up of cobblestones from the 1906 San Francisco earthquake that might have something to do with it. That was from TrishaChatter.com for that last one, but he's just sitting outside the bathroom, introducing himself. Like, hey, how's it going? So, if you guys find yourself in or near Seattle anytime soon, or it doesn't have to be soon, whenever you listen to this, definitely put those on your list and let us know if you experience anything, because that would be really cool. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested. All right, with that, you have anything to add?
No, I have nothing.
Well, if you guys can, please send in a scary or spooky or just creepy old story. Please go ahead and email it to us at creepytravelspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to start getting to share your guys' stories, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for listening.